The year is 700. Three mighty civilizations divide the known world, each believing themselves chosen by destiny. Damascus stands as the jewel of the Umayyad Caliphate, Islam's armies stretching from Spain to China's borders. Constantinople remains unconquered, its walls guarding Christendom's greatest empire. Chang'an houses 2 million souls within Tang China's perfect grid, where an empress dares to claim heaven's mandate for herself. 3 coins represent 3 powers: gold dinar, Byzantine solidus, Tang copper, currencies of empires that will clash. In the mountains of Tang China, Taoist alchemists pursue an ancient obsession, the elixir of immortality, seeking not weapons but eternal life. Saltpeter from cave walls, sulfur from volcanic earth, and charcoal from sacred willow trees are measured with precision passed down through generations. Proportions matter desperately: too little saltpeter and nothing happens, too much and catastrophe follows. Ancient texts warned of fire medicine, mixtures that smoke and burn violently, yet curiosity drives the old alchemist's hand forward. In one blinding instant, flash, thunder, smoke, the world changes forever. Sought immortality and found destruction. This black powder will sleep for centuries before awakening to reshape warfare and topple empires across every battlefield in human history. No woman in Chinese history had ever claimed the dragon throne. Confucian scholars declared it impossible, but Wu Zetian proved them wrong. At 80 years old, she rules absolutely as former concubine turned son of heaven. Her enemies call her ruthless, her supporters call her divine. Her decrees reformed examinations, promoted commoners over aristocrats, and elevated Buddhism above Confucianism, each brushstroke challenging 1,000 years of tradition. She commissioned the world's largest Buddha statues and declared herself Maitreya reborn. In 705, whispers fill the corridors as her health fails and ambitious men see opportunity. The phoenix crown rests silent on an empty throne. Wu Zetian dies months after her forced abdication, China's only female emperor, whose legend will echo for millennia. Where Africa nearly touches Europe, the Strait of Gibraltar stretches just 9 miles wide. For the Umayyad Caliphate, it is not a barrier but an invitation. Musa ibn Nusayr, governor of North Africa, has pushed Islam's frontier from Egypt to the Atlantic, and now his eyes turn northward toward the Christian kingdoms of Hispania. The Berbers, proud warriors of the Maghreb, have accepted Islam but not Arab supremacy. Musa promises them equality, glory, and plunder, and they will form the backbone of his invasion force. 7,000 swords are sharpened as forges burn day and night, preparing for a campaign that will erase a 300-year-old kingdom from the map. Across the strait, Spain waits, wealthy, divided, and utterly unprepared, as the Visigothic kingdom tears itself apart in civil war. King Roderick seized power through treachery, his rivals plot revenge, and the kingdom's defenders will march to battle already betrayed by their own. As the sun sets over Gibraltar, 2 worlds stand on the brink. April, 711, before first light, 7,000 warriors board their ships, carrying the Quran, their swords, and dreams of paradise. Tariq ibn Ziyad, Berber freedman and brilliant commander, stares across dark waters. Legend says he will burn his ships upon landing, no retreat, only victory or martyrdom. 30 ships cut through Mediterranean waves as the great rock emerges from morning mist, Jabal Tariq, Gibraltar, named forever for this moment. Muslim feet touch European sand, and history pivots. These leather sandals pressing into wet Spanish earth mark the beginning of 8 centuries of Islamic Iberia. King Roderick gathers every soldier his fractured kingdom can muster. Visigothic cavalry, the finest in Europe, outnumbering invaders 3 to 1. At the Guadalete River, 2 armies face destiny. Roderick commands the center, confident in his heavy cavalry, not knowing his own nobles have chosen betrayal. The Berber cavalry thunders forward, lighter, faster, deadlier, swirling around flanks, striking and retreating. When Roderick's wings collapse, betrayed by rivals who fled, the battle becomes slaughter. Toledo, the Visigothic capital, opens its gates without a fight. There is no one left to defend it. In just 7 years, Islamic forces conquer nearly the entire Iberian Peninsula, Córdoba Falls, Seville Falls, Mérida, Zaragoza, Barcelona. The green banner rises over them all. The Jews of Spain welcome the conquerors as liberators, for under Visigothic law they faced forced conversion, but under Muslim rule they will become physicians, merchants, and scholars. Arabic script begins appearing on Spanish stone, churches become mosques, and a new civilization takes root, Al-Andalus, where East and West will merge. But in the far north, Christian refugees climb into the Cantabrian mountains, where terrain is too harsh for conquerors to pursue. A Visigothic nobleman named Pelayo raises his sword in a mountain cave, his followers numbering barely 300, yet from this desperate beginning, the Reconquista is born. Constantinople, the world's most fortified city, triple walls, 400 towers, sea on 3 sides, defenses that will never be breached by force. In 717, the Umayyad Caliphate sends 80,000 soldiers commanded by Maslama ibn Abd al-Malik to claim Christianity's greatest prize. 1,800 ships darken the Sea of Marmara, carrying enough men and supplies to starve the city into submission. Emperor Leo III prepares his defense, having studied Arab tactics for decades, knowing both their strength and their weakness. Greek fire, Byzantium's secret weapon, is prepared, liquid flame that burns on water, sticks to flesh, and cannot be extinguished. Byzantine fire ships attack at night, jets of green flame erupt across the harbor as Arab vessels become floating infernos, sailors leaping into waters that themselves burn. Then winter comes, the coldest in memory. Arab soldiers from Syrian deserts have never seen snow, camels freeze standing, men eat horses, then leather, then each other. When Bulgarian cavalry crashes into weakened Arab flanks, the siege becomes rout. Khan Turbal's charge kills 22,000 men. Of 80,000 soldiers, barely 30,000 survive the march home. Of 1,800 ships, 5 return. Constantinople stands unbroken. Islam's expansion eastward ends forever at these walls. Having conquered Spain, Muslim armies cross the Pyrenees into Francia, Aquitaine burns, Burgundy trembles, as raiders push deeper into Europe than ever before, seeking the treasures of Tours. Abdul Rahman al-Ghafiqi leads 20,000 cavalry northward. His veterans have never lost a major battle. The Basilica of St. Martin holds relics worth kingdoms, and monks frantically load treasures onto carts, knowing if Tours falls, all of Christian Gaul lies open. Charles Martel summons every Frankish warrior, choosing his ground carefully, a forested hillside where Arab cavalry cannot maneuver. The Franks form a great square of shields and spears, heavy mail, axes, and they do not move, for against cavalry, infantry must become an immovable wall or die. Wave after wave of Muslim horsemen charge uphill. For 6 days they crash against the shield wall, and for 6 days it holds firm. Horses scream, spears shatter, the finest light cavalry in the world breaks against Frankish iron. On the 7th day, Abdul Rahman leads a desperate charge, a spear finds him, and the greatest Arab general in the West falls dead. Morning reveals abandoned tents. Europe's fate was decided here. Between the Black Sea and Caspian, the Caucasus Mountains form the world's greatest natural barrier. Here, a third front opens in Islam's war against the world. The Khazars, Turkic nomads who built an empire on trade and war, possess compound bows that pierce armor at 200 paces. At Ardabil in 730, Arab overconfidence meets Khazar fury. The Caliphate's northern army is surrounded and destroyed in 3 days of mountain combat. General Jarrah falls with 25,000 soldiers. The worst Arab defeat in a century. Constantinople in the east, Tours in the west, the Caucasus in the north. By 732, the Umayyad Caliphate has reached its limits. In Damascus, marble palaces that once dazzled ambassadors now show cracks. The Umayyad dynasty that has ruled for 90 years approaches its end. The Moali, Persian, Egyptian, Berber converts, built this empire with their blood, yet Arab rulers treat them as second-class Muslims, taxing them like infidels. In 739, the Berbers rise in fury, tearing down Umayyad banners and slaughtering Arab garrisons as western provinces burn. Caliph follows Caliph in bloody succession. Al-Walid murdered, Yazid dead of plague, Ibrahim overthrown, 4 rulers in 5 years. Marwan II inherits chaos with rebellions raging from Africa to Persia. His armies march constantly, crushing one revolt only to face another. Soldiers who once conquered continents now gamble in barracks as the military machine rusts from within.
Look to the banners! We rise now from the depths of this cavern to reclaim our destiny.
In Khorasan, far from Damascus, a mysterious figure gathers followers in torchlit darkness. Abu Muslim speaks of justice, equality, and revolution. Black flags unfurl for the first time in 747, the color of mourning for the Prophet's family murdered by Umayyad, the color of vengeance, the color of a new dynasty rising. From Merv, the black-bannered army marches westward as Persian and Arab march together as equals. City after city opens its gates, and revolution sweeps like wildfire. November 749, Abu al-Abbas ascends the pulpit in Kufa's great mosque. A new caliph, a new dynasty, the Abbasids claim Islam's throne. At the Great Zab River in January 750, Abbasid black and Umayyad white collide in the largest battle the Islamic world has ever seen. The Abbasids invite surviving princes to a reconciliation banquet. 80 enter, none leave alive. One prince escapes. Abd al-Rahman, who will build a new kingdom in Spain. In the Frankish kingdom, a young giant buries his father. Charlemagne stands 6 feet 4 in an age when most men reach 5 feet, and he will build an empire to match his stature. Beyond the Rhine lie the Saxons, fierce and pagan, their sacred pillar Irminsul connecting earth to heaven. In 772, Charlemagne's axes bite into Irminsul, the sacred pillar crashes down as Saxon warriors watch their gods fall. This is holy war, conversion by the sword. Surrender means baptism. In 782, after another revolt, Charlemagne's patience ends. At Verdun, 4,500 prisoners are executed in a single day. Yet this same king builds schools and libraries, preserving knowledge through the Carolingian Renaissance. By 800, Charlemagne rules France, Germany, and northern Italy, not since Rome has one man united so much of Europe. Christmas Day, 800, snow falls on Rome's ancient ruins as pilgrims crowd St. Peter's Basilica, unaware this morning will change history forever. Inside, candles illuminate golden mosaics where Frankish nobles kneel beside Roman clergy. Pope Leo III prepares to repay the king who rescued him from his enemies. Charlemagne kneels before the altar in simple pilgrim clothes, head bowed. He claims he does not know what comes next. The Pope lifts a golden crown, jeweled and heavy with meaning. For 3 centuries there has been no emperor in the West. Carolo Augusto. To Charles Augustus, crowned by God, great and peace-giving emperor of the Romans, life and victory.
In the 8th century, a network of trade emerged that would forever transform the known world.
For great rulers now divide the world, Harun al-Rashid in Baghdad, Charlemagne in Aachen, Constantine VI in Constantinople, Dezong in Chang'an, for empires, for visions, one transformed world. In 762, the Abbasids build Baghdad, the round city, which becomes the world's largest, richest, and most learned city. The Islamic Golden Age begins here. In the House of Wisdom, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish scholars translate Greek philosophy, Persian astronomy, and Indian mathematics. Knowledge preserved for all humanity. 3 faiths define 3 civilizations. The crescent rises over Cordoba, the cross crowns Rome, the Dharma will turns in Chang'an. But from frozen northern fjords, dragon ships prepare to descend. The Viking Age waits beyond the horizon. This was the 8th century. Conquests, revolutions, empires reborn, and even greater changes await.